All right. The sunnypilot September 8th release with the non-inflatable model. First drive. Haven't tested this at all. Running openpilot along. Just gonna let it rip. All right. First time I'm turning it on. Actually gonna switch to experimental mode. Not using DLC right now, which is dynamic launch control. Just gonna test it with just standard full-time experimental. Going just to speed limit 30 miles an hour. Alright, first stop. Alright, yeah, that was an elegant stop. Nice braking overall. A little bit tiny bit slow, but good. Alright, we're driving 11 under the limit right now. Torque warning, but did it fine. Got a nasty curve coming up. Alright, I'm gonna take control here. Swear, always cars coming on the opposite side when I'm turning on these roads, but sometimes these straights will have nobody coming for a while. Like around here, almost always a car when I turn. Alright, it's holding the lane pretty well. Yeah, that was really good actually. Quite a good turn for my Honda. Started going across. Overall, it's keeping pretty decent speed too. Almost maintaining the max I gave it. Got a car on the right here and a left turn. Slowing down. I can't quite make this turn. Yeah, one of the tricky parts is that sometimes the models will ride the right side here, which is on an edge. But so far, this has been doing good. We got a stop sign, partially obscured, but it saw it just in time. Okay. Didn't quite stop as long as the last one, but okay, this turned pretty well. Yeah, accelerated up to max speed very quickly. A little bit of braking. We're all pretty good. Yeah, torque warning. Take control. Alright, got a car behind me, so I'm kind of modulating the speed a little bit more. A little bit to the right there. Stop manually here. And off we go. Alright. Got a speed bump coming up. Obscured by shadows. Nothing. Slowing down manually. Stop sign on the top of a hill. It is stopping very early, but it's stopping. I'm just kind of gunning it a little bit now. Don't care too much about these parts. Another speed bump. And it seemed like it was almost slowing down for it. Like the screen went, the line went yellow, but didn't really stop. Alright. First turn. 90-degree turn. Yeah, after this, I'll put it back into chill, more testing just the lateral and stuff like that. Okay, back to chill mode. Yeah, a little bit of that open pilot, unnecessary modulating, braking, but pretty good. 30 meters following distance at 50 miles an hour. All right, let's take in our first bigger turn at higher speeds. Went to the left tiny smidge, but corrected itself, following a good trajectory on this turn. It is fairly slow though, because of traffic. Alright, lane change. Not taking this turn. Pretty good so far. Come up on a lead again. This is open pilot long, but visual only. Chill mode. Good stop. This guy's launching slowly. All right, here we go. So far, handy dandy, just maintaining pretty good. It's riding right a little bit right now, but there's nothing on the right here. Just a huge bike lane or parking area. Yeah, what openpilot has some issues detecting the left side here. So traditionally, it'll get confused by where the curb is, with all this plants and the rocks and stuff. So far, it seems to be tracking pretty well, which is really good. It's not jumping around too much. It's riding on the pretty good position in the lane. Nothing to complain about here. Sometimes the Moonrise or Hot Coffee model would literally be riding on the left, like straight up, like almost like touching that, like keep inches from the curb, which was kind of ridiculous before. I mean, now it also has a lead, so I could influence things. So far, so good. All right. Yeah, it does have a lead, but it's not following the trajectory exactly of the lead, so that's probably doing some of its own thinking there. I'm gonna go into this residential area here. Alright, this has no lane lines whatsoever. It's just a bunch of turns. I'm gonna let this guy go. Just gonna let this guy get some distance ahead of me. Just not trying to have a lead for this scenario. All right, here we go. 25 miles an hour. Right into the curb. All right, that's not too unusual. Usually a torque thing. Alright, we got a parked car. It's evading pretty well. I like to nudge it a little bit more just because I get paranoid. Another parked car, maintaining a good trajectory here. It'll falsely detect this, some of this repair on the road as a lane. Another parked car. On a turn. Good avoidance. Sometimes here it'll start riding on a left, which so far this is doing well. Got a car, opposing car, just holding it a little bit by myself. Oh, we're all good, quite good. Good launch. Also follow those other cars, but that's not what we're doing. Okay, picking up speed here. Doing good. Stopping. So manual stop, we're in chill. Yeah, switch from the left lane to, actually I do want to be in the left lane though. I was in the left lane for a smidge and then back went to the right. It could just be a torque thing, but it's all good. All right, driving. The overall centering and stuff has been quite good. And the non-inflatable model has been pretty decent on average for me on other forks. This is my first time trying it on sunnypilot. It's riding a little bit to right in this curve, but nothing too scary. Coming up on stopped cars, harsh braking, and we're stopped. 4 meter stop, not bad. Detects the car in front of me departing, inching up. Okay, pretty good. Decent stop and go behavior there. Yeah, I'm gassing it a little bit here just because I don't get caught in this red light camera. I'm gonna switch all over. Way too much traffic. All right, stop the cars coming up fast. Ooh, harsh stop. Yeah, but that was a lot of lane changing. Then it's keeping a huge gap, so it's a little bit of an aggressive stop for how much falling distance there was. Yeah, it was like rapid lane changes that I did, so you can imagine it hadn't enough time, didn't plan properly, but yeah. Got some stop and go traffic here, fairly dense. 25-meter falling distance, 30 at 25. Slowing down. Gonna let these guys merge. I'm gonna get over now. This is always a horrific freeway entrance, but it works. Does the deed, does the job. All right, coming up on a U-turn type on ramp. Let's see what we got. Torque warnings abound. Alright. Accelerating now. Very moderate acceleration. We do have a lead. Cars merging in. Oh God. My lord, what the frick? Okay. It's a manual braking there, just because there's some overcorrection. Merging. We're doing at 60 miles an hour. We're doing around 30 meters falling distance, which is pretty impressive. Trying to get over, but trying to find a nice little gap for me to slide. All right, changing lanes, close to the lead car. 15 meters, 13. Okay, pilot's accommodating pretty smoothly. Yeah, no harsh braking here. Let's do another lane change. We got a 100-meter lead. It's accelerating, closing the gap. This guy cut in. It did brake. Wasn't really necessary, but it did. Not too horrible though. Corrected. Set. Okay. We're at 48 meters at 74 miles an hour. Pretty okay. A little bit of a long distance. So far, centering has been pretty good. Teeny tiny oscillations, but overall staying nicely centered. Yeah, overall, pretty good, pretty good. Got a bend coming up, 65 miles an hour. Yeah, maintain centering effectively. Did speed up on the curve and then slow down again. Kind of unnecessary, but okay. Yeah, lead car switched lanes. I got a different lead. It's closing that gap again. Slowing down. It seems to have this. Yeah, I'm gonna be exiting soon. Let's switch lanes. Yeah, the closing the gap behaviors is with openpilot is still a little bit funky for me, but overall, not too harsh. It's maintaining a pretty smooth drive. Okay, so here we got a bigger. This guy left the lane, bigger gap, 100 meters. It will accelerate a little bit harshly and then slow down, as opposed to just kind of naturally closing the gap. It seems to have like a hard time deciding what speed it wants to go. Which some of this speed oscillation is simply just because this is a visual only. Although it doesn't seem to have a hard time telling distance of the front car, so I don't know how much I want to blame the visual part. Alright, gonna take this off ramp. Okay, got a stop car on a curve. Oh, accelerating hard into it, manually braking. Yeah. I'm already braking, buddy. Alright. Yeah, now we're on moderate speed surface streets. Yeah, definitely some traffic here, but so far should be good enough to test. The overall, pretty impressive performance in terms of lateral wise. Centering properly and whatnot. Hasn't been cutting into other lanes too much, which is always one of the concerns. At least with the last two or three models between Nicki Minaj and this one. Pedestrians crossing, hand on the wheel. Lane change on a curve. Was a little bit slow, but not bad. Alright, slow cars on a green light. Approaching high, and yeah, that's slowing down. Pretty, not horrible. A little bit to the right on this lane. Still acceptable. Ooh, hitting red and sunny. Okay. Turning left. Let's see if we can. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, even when on a turning left, it's still going right. Yeah, nothing. It was still within like the absolute minimum acceptable margin, but yeah, it ain't no Nicki Minaj model. That is not Nicki Minaj the person. All right, right lane is ending. Let's see what we got going on. Okay. Lane spreads out. Car's maintaining its trajectory. Not bad. Some curves. A little bit of unnecessary braking as usual with openpilot long, but pretty good. Trajectory here is a pretty wide road. It's maintaining it well. Yeah, these double solid lines on the right are confusing the system a little bit, since some of them, they kind of appear and disappear inconsistently. We're overall good. It's hanging slightly to the right, which is fine for when you're in the far right. Definitely seems to favor the right side slightly, though, on average. Yeah, openpilot long performance is, yeah, a little bit of excessive speed oscillation. I'm not sure if there's been any actual long changes since the last version, but it could. I mean, sometimes this openpilot long for me is just, it can be really inconsistent. Sometimes it drives amazing, sometimes it's really silly. Right now it's in between. All right, approaching a red light. I'll switch to experimental just real quick. Looks no, it was not confident with this red light. I had to stop manually. I'll re-engage it though, so at least seems like it'll launch appropriately at least. Yeah, the planner line was flickering between red and gray. Never something you really want to see. Okay, I'm driving an experimental now at higher speeds. The car's accelerating kind of crazy. Approaching another red light with stop cars. Yeah, kind of go around this time. Don't want to really go through this chunk of traffic. Last minute lane change, did it well. 5.7 meter following distance. Stopping distance. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it in experimental for a little bit, just for fun. Uh, Generally, with my car, experimental is okay, but braking with experimental is very rough with my car, so I generally try to not use it as much. Okay, so another red light. Yeah, it's already it's braking hard really early. It's kind of crawling to the red. I mean, this was not too bad. It crawls to the red, but I mean, the one thing I don't like is that it'll do an initial hard brake and then kind of roll forward, as opposed to just more of a, gradual braking job. Yeah, it looks like it's not really wanting to pick up speed here. I'm gonna switch just to chill mode, just for it. Just slow driving is not my favorite. Approaching a stopped car. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it definitely had. There's no reason for emergency braking there. Warning there. I could have stopped normally. Like, it brakes way harder than that usually. So. But yeah, that's just the game. High speed lane changes with stopped cars. Openpilot does not like it. Okay, driving through some slower residential here. Probably a good time to turn on experimental again. Just test the stop sign performance. We got a lead and a stop, and it stopped. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Going up a hill. Sometimes I find with experimental that it likes to brake for hills. I don't know why. It sees the hill as like it's going extremely slow up this hill, but it's going. It's braking on the downhill, even though it's only 2 above. Crawling through this residential area. We're going extremely slow uphill again. Yeah, it likes to go slow uphill and then brake on the downhill. Generally not natural driving for me. Pretty good though. road without lane lines. Handling it pretty nice. Not a lot of cars here though. We've got some coming up. A little bit close. Ooh, stop sign, kind of out of nowhere. Stopped manually there. Another funky stop sign. Okay, taking it back to chill. Actually, I'll put it back. Got some high-speed stop signs here, like a 45 zone stop signs. Really fantastic road design. And it tried to blow it. Scare the guy in the way. Alright, I'm gonna take it out of experimental. It's still crap. Just braking manually here, not letting it panic again. Fairly close stop this time. Almost less than 2 meters. Launching. Slow off the line. Harsh braking with a big gap. Yeah, that's a better stop. It's a tighter launch than last time. Alright. Taking the on-ramp. This is a fairly easy one. Riding the line, but all good here. Just kind of following everyone else's pattern. Getting up to freeway speed now. Got a clean merge. Braking for some reason. Okay, there we go. A lot of braking. Very unnecessary modulation. What we got, around 50 meters of following distance. We're at 35, so it's getting closer at like 72 miles an hour, 71 miles at 30. I'm not really sure what the car is trying to do here. Car ahead is slowing down, so it's legitimate, but so we're at a cool 33 at 70, which is quite close for openpilot. But we'll see if that gap increases now. Yeah, it's already at 40. Yeah, a lot of braking. I mean, this guy is driving inconsistently, but yeah, it's openpilot is a little bit strict on like how exactly it wants to follow a car. It doesn't really accommodate these variances in speed as well, but pretty good overall. Slight bend here, pretty good. We're at 30 meters at 4 miles an hour. That's pretty good. Probably gonna change lanes here. I want to find an adequate gap. Yeah, a little bit of dense, slow traffic here. Taking a bend nicely. I mean, most of my complaints right now are just from the long performance, just being funky. Got a major cut in here. taking the off ramp. Pretty good. Overall, I'm gonna turn it off now, but general opinion is so far performance has been pretty good. Nothing really like major to highlight in terms of negatives. I was driving the Nicki Minaj model right before I tested this. What I say is this matching that just from a short impression. Probably not, at least laterally, but definitely will keep riding it. It seems to be improvement over the Moonrise model, which I had a lot of hugging with. So yeah, we'll see how that works over time.